Welcome to the Life Makeovers podcast. My name is Cindy D. Whitmer, and I am the Midlife Makeover Coach, helping you turn your midlife into your best life, one step at a time. Through powerful conversations, my own midlife roller coaster story, and over 3 decades of helping people transform their lives through counseling and coaching, I am on a mission to help you create your own definition of success and happiness. Thank you for being here. Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday to you. I hope you had a great weekend. So this week, I'm telling you, I'm gonna tell you, I want us to do some breaking up this week. Breaking up. This week, we're gonna break up. Break up. Okay, that may sound very odd coming from a woman who just got married. Not very long ago. Why would I be talking about breaking up? Well, I'm not talking about breaking up my marriage or breaking up relationships, although, sometimes we do have to break up with people, honestly, whether we're dating them or if it's a friendship or a business partnership or a family member. I mean, these things happen, of course. But this week, I'm going to focus on breaking up with some different tendencies that we have in life. And one of the big ones I find among women that I work with in my coaching practice is worry. So today I want you to break up with worry and fears. I want you to break up with them. Break up. Time to break up with your worries and your fears. I know that so many of you struggle with this part of your life. You feel anxiety in life. You feel afraid of what could happen, what might happen, you worry about people you love. You worry about, health issues. You worry about the future of this. You worry about the future of that. You worry about, where things are going in our country. We worry about all of that stuff, right? But here's the truth. I always tell you the truth. That most of what you worry about is never going to happen. It's never going to happen, most of it. I mean, things happen sometimes, people die, accidents happen, children run away from home, people stop talking to you, you lose the job, the house burns down, the accident happen, whatever, you get the health diagnosis. These things I get it. These things happen. They happen to you. They've happened to me. Things we don't want sometimes happen. And I get that. I understand that. But most of the time, and the amount of time y'all are out there worrying or scaring yourself to death is really only keeping you from enjoying the peaceful life that's available to you right now. It's really only serving you to keep you from your daily joy. And so I'm here to tell you, it's not worth it, right? It's just not worth it. So let's dig into this a little more. Think about what you're worrying about right now. Maybe you're worried about one of your children and what's going on with them. Maybe you're worried about something that's happening at work. Maybe you're worried about some strange pain you've got in your body that has not been diagnosed or understood yet. Maybe you're worried about one of your elderly parents and how, if they're dying, if they're losing their mental capacities or whatever. Anyway, I know the list can be long. Or maybe you're worried, do I have enough retirement money? Am I prepared? Okay, well, here's another truth about worry. And that is that no matter how much you worry and obsess and stress yourself out about these possibilities, that is not going to stop them from happening if they're going to happen. You worrying about something doesn't magically keep it from happening. And you worrying about it and obsessing about it doesn't mean it's going to happen either. It is just simply a total waste of energy. Honestly, And what you're doing to yourself by worrying is, again, like I said earlier, you're robbing yourself of your daily joy. You're missing some of the blessings of your life because you're busy worrying. And you might be wreaking havoc on your physical health by worrying. Excuse me. You may be more prone to migraines or sleepless nights or heart palpitations or chronic pain, or let me just go on with the list, right? Let alone you might be more likely to turn to unhealthy substances to help relax you or numb you from your feelings that are difficult to manage. Okay? So I want you to break up with worry. I really, 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 really do. Now the next thing you're asking is, well, how on earth do we do that? How? How do you break up with worry? How do you break up with fear? They're very similar, fear and worry. So if I say fear, I mean worry and fear. If I say worry, I mean worries and fears. Whatever. Let's throw them all into the same pot today, okay? So your worry and your fear keep you from living your life fully. And I'm all about you living your life fully. I want you to live your life fully, and I believe it's possible for every person on the planet. I tend to see a lot of this worry and fear in women with women in midlife. And, I've been there myself, right? So here's an example. Here's a story of me getting really wrapped up in worry and fear. So when I was unhappily married for many, many, many years, and I was contemplating divorce in the last couple of years, never thought I would do that, but the last couple of years, things got difficult enough and I was depressed enough and so forth that I actually contemplated the idea of divorce for the first time. But guess what? The minute I entertained that thought, I started worrying and having fears around it. Like what if I ruin the kids' lives by doing this? We had two, teenagers at the time. What if I was the executive director of a counseling center at a faith-based nonprofit. And I thought, oh, what if I ruin the reputation of this nonprofit and we lose funding because, I'm supposed to be this person that's running this place. And I felt this need to live a perfect life and, be a good role model in that role and so forth. So I worried that I might, really hurt the counseling center. And then I worried my clients wouldn't think I was a good therapist anymore if I couldn't keep my own marriage together. And then I worried that, all my in-laws would hate me forever if I divorced their son. And then I worried that the church would think I was not worthy anymore because I had, failed in this commitment that I had, this lifelong commitment that I had. And then I worried I may not make it financially on my own because I was used to a double income household and, on and on and on my list went of worries and fears. And, as long as I held on to all those worries, I would never have left that marriage. And then I realized so here's how I dismantled the worries and the fears. And so take note, if you're a worrier or a fear-based person, take note. So the first thing I did was I checked the thoughts that were creating the worry, which I just laid some out for you, right? I just laid them out. What if the church this? What if the community that? What if the family this? What if the kids that? Those were my worries verbalized, right? Those are the words. So find your words, articulate your fears and worries to yourself. What are you really afraid of? And then ask yourself, how likely is it that these things will come true? I'm going to ruin our kids' lives by getting a divorce? I mean, they still would have their dad, they would still have their mom, they would still have their school, their community, all their support system, all their activities, pretty much everything else besides married parents. So it wasn't a real rational thought that I would just destroy their lives by doing this, right? Plus, I'm a kid that survived the divorce of her parents, and I'm a living, breathing example of how your life can go on and you can turn it into a beautiful life. So take each aspect of your worries and fears, those thoughts, and challenge them a little bit and go, really? Like, really? Is that a valid concern? Like, I mean, come on. Most things about most things aren't that rational when we're worrying and fearful. Okay. So really test those thoughts that you have behind the worry and the fear. Look at them carefully and then get a worst case scenario in your mind. Like, what's the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst that could happen here? And then go, really? I mean, come on. Like, really? Most of the things, like I said before, most of the things we worry about aren't going to happen at all, or are going to happen maybe very, 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 very dialed down. Right. So, for example, if the church I was going to decided to judge me for this and put me down or say I'm not worthy or think that I wasn't good enough for the church, then why would I want to attend such a church? I mean, seriously, why would I? Is that what church meant to me? No. And, just for the record, I was loved through this process, as was my ex-husband, as was our children. We were loved, cared for, held up, supported through it all. Didn't feel judgment. I mean, all that. So just want to say that for the record. So look at that. If you want to dismantle your worry and fear, check the thoughts that are involved in what are you saying in your head about these particular circumstances or possibilities? Worst case scenario it for yourself, and then really challenge the rational approach of it. And again, I do acknowledge sometimes things happen. Some of our worst fears do sometimes come true. I get it. I've had friends who've had their children die. I've known people whose loved ones went missing. I've known several people whose homes have burned to the ground and they've lost, quote unquote, lost everything. I've known people get laid off of jobs after working at places for 25, 30, 35 years and be blindsided by that. I've known people, of course, many people who've gotten a health diagnosis, a terminal health diagnosis out of nowhere, thinking they were healthy. These things do happen, but again, us sitting around worrying about them, thinking about them, obsessing about them, being afraid of them, have nothing to do with whether they're going to come true or not, whether they're ever going to be a reality in our lives. And the other side of that is what a lot of people will tell you, if you really listen to people, me included, is that some of the toughest, most difficult, most challenging, most unwanted events in our lives, including me, have brought about some of the greatest gifts and blessings too. And at the end of the day, we're all okay, right? I mean, I'm almost 56 years old and it's all good, right? It's all okay. I'm still okay. I'm still standing. I'm surviving. I'm thriving. And I've been through some stuff just like you have. And so what is there to worry about? Really, what is there to worry about? Honestly, just think about that. So do yourself a favor. And on the flip side of this, breaking up with worry will give you an emotional freedom that you have not experienced if you've been worrying and fearful all your life. You will feel so relieved. You will feel peaceful. You will feel more faith-filled, trusting. You will experience more joy You'll have more fun. You'll relax more. You won't feel responsible for the entire universe anymore. You'll realize that, there's a flow to all our lives, and we are players in our lives, and we can create whatever kind of environment we want to in our room, our homes, and in our heads, and that's up to you. So you have complete and total power to turn this around in your head. I call it mastering your mindset, which is step 4 in the midlife makeover method. This is my book. Those of you who are watching on YouTube, you can get it on Amazon, teach you all these steps, but this is a part of step 4, mastering your mindset, where you're making your makeover on the inside to make over your life from the inside out. One of the biggest changes you can make is mastering your mindset, so your mind is your best friend, working well on your behalf instead of your worst enemy and consuming you with worry and fear. It's up to you. You can do it. It takes practice. We can practice all day long, every day. We all have 50 to 60,000 thoughts a day. Many of them are worry and fear based. So every time you catch yourself choosing one of those thoughts that are worry or fear based, I want you to catch and go, oh, there, I had another one. I worried about something. I'm afraid of something. Okay, let's take a look at that. What am I really thinking? What's really behind this? What experiences have I had that have caused me to sort of go in this direction with my thoughts? And how can I turn this around in a way that I can relieve myself and live peacefully? So go break up with your worry and your fear, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening. How would you like to receive my #1 best-selling book, The Midlife Makeover Method? All you have to do is leave a review for this podcast, take a snapshot of it, and send it to cindy@cindydwhitmer.com. We'll drop the email address in the details, and I will talk to you again soon. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.